right, guys, on this car, we're going to be doing a hydraulic throwout bearing, something I hadn't really touched on much. And since the forklift's occupied tonight, I can't put the oil pan on it. So, I'm trying down here. I also have some unpaid labor now that I've hit 24 subscribers. Got the little brother filming. But on these transmissions, I got to pull it off to get the throwout bearing on. And then I have my shims right here I have to measure for to figure out how much to do. But on these transmissions, you literally just have 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts to get them pulled off. So we're going to get this ripped off. And then, this is my first time, but I'll try to show you all how to measure to shim your throwout bearing. Okay, for measuring for your throwout bearing, like I would just like to say one more time, this is my first time, never done this. But from my research, what you'll take is you'll measure from the teeth on your pressure plate to the mating surface of the transmission. So you'll take that measurement, call it measurement A, and then what you'll do is take the throwout bearing, slide it on your transmission, and you'll measure from the front of your throwout bearing to the front of your transmission, which is also the mating surface for that. So you'll take that, call that measurement B, do measurement A minus B, and whatever your difference is, you'll take these shims right here. I'm not sure what the actual width of the shim is, but whatever that is, say it's 6/10, and each shim's a tenth. You'll use 6 shims to take that area out so that you have a full throw of your clutch. All right, guys, using my micrometer, I measured from these teeth to this outside surface. Wrote it down over here, came out with 3.016 inches. And then before I put a stack of shims on it, I measured from here to this surface that catches that, came out to be 2.406 inches. And that was a pretty big gap, more than I thought it was going to be. But when I put all the shims that came in this kit on it, it came out to 3.011 inches. So we have 5/1000ths of an inch roughly gap, which may be a little too tight, but we're gonna hook the transmission back up and see how it looks. And we're gonna put our clutch line on so we can route it out where your shift fork would usually go. Update, guys, just so y'all know, you need an air gap between the pressure plate and your throwout bearing. So what I did is said 3, I don't know if I can say it, 3.01 was measurement A. Okay, we were at 3.0 something, which is way too close to the gap. So we took 3 shims off. With the micrometer, we came out to 2.86 roughly, which give us a 1/1500ths air gap, which should be just about perfect to make sure the clutch fully disengages, and then we'll re-engage it throughout place. So we're going to now, got the clutch line hooked up, and we're going to try to stab this transmission back onto here and get it bolted up. All right, guys, transmission is officially bolted back up. Here is my line to my clutch reservoir, and then here is my bleeder line, both off the slates for the throwout bearing. And then it's kind of hard to tell in there. This pressure plate's not pushed all the way back yet. Once I engage the clutch for the first time, it'll push itself back. But you can see there's free movement in there. It is not rubbing the pressure plate. We have roughly a 1/1500ths gap right there. Perfect. Alright, guys, after taking everything off, I finally got it on the engine stand. So I'm going to start taking this oil pan off and getting the low pro. I'll probably try to put this in fast forward so it'll make it quick. right, guys, oil pan's off. The inside of the motor looks pretty good in there. Tell it's new rods, new pistons. You can see the, oh, it'll be hard to see. You got your flashlight? You see the crosshatch maybe in the cylinder. You can from up here. But anyway, it looks good. I'm gonna get this new pan on and get everything reassembled. After working for about 2 hours, that oil pan does not fit this motor. It says it's for LS1, LS2, or LS3. I think it's for a 6.2. I assume it's probably got a little bit different oil pan. For some reason, that oil pan, when you put the pickup tube on it, it would hit the pickup tube. And I don't really know what to do about that other than return it and try to find one that's specifically just for a 5.3. So that's what we're gonna do. So that'll be it for today. So yes, this windage tray is pretty dirty. But what I figured out is, there's back of your motor, front of your motor. It's like your Camaros and stuff had a 3/4, pretty sure that's what they call it, windage tray. Essentially all it is right here, this rib, it's cut off. So you'll have 3 bolts instead of 4 bolts, and then the crank and rods will be exposed right here. So what we're gonna have to do is, I'm gonna just get a grinder with a cutting wheel, get myself a line around these bolts, come up here, down, same thing on the other side. Cut that off, and then it should fit flush onto here. This is just an eBay $100 oil pan, so hopefully everything still lines up good. And one more other thing I wanted to hit on is this right here. This is your little adapter that plugs in down here so you can thread an oil filter on. Okay, so this part that threads into the oil pan, I don't know what thread count or size is on it. Anyway, this also fits on a Gen 3 LS oil filter. This side does not. It's bigger. So I was going to pull the oil filter part off of that transmission, but I didn't have a 12mm Allen head to get it off. After some research on that, also, most these Chinese kits, whether it's Amazon or eBay, have the other side is a Gen 4 LS style oil filter. So all they had at the parts store was this Mobile 1. There's the part number, and I've already threaded it on, and it fits perfect onto here. I think the Wix part number, if you want to run a Wix, is 57060 to be able to get the Gen 4 LS style oil filter fit on this. Same size, literally just the part you thread on is a little bit bigger. So now that all that's cleared up in the air, get this pulled back off and cut down. All right, guys, this is what your final product will look like once you cut from this rib. So basically it's like a 3/4 windage tray now. It does look like a 3-year-old took a grinder to it. It is not my best work, but I'm trying to get this thing buttoned up to where I can get motor in the car soon. It'll be fine. Should clearance. We'll test it out. If I need to trim a little more, maybe right here or something, I can. But from all the videos I've seen, this looks pretty close to what you have to do. So I'm going to get pickup back on and then slide it on one more time and see if everything's clearance now. Guys, my mic died, but after cutting that windage tray down there, I was able to get this thing to sit flush. If I move my finger, you can see sits flush, crushes that gasket good. And then on this side, same ordeal. And I know it's hard to tell, probably on the camera, but there's your just generic truck pan. You can kind of see how high it sits off the ground versus that pan. That gives me, I don't know, probably 3-4 inches more to be able to lower my motor down in the car. And then that'll help with clearance between not only this bracket, which can be changed. I can run a different bracket. I just didn't want to waste the money, and I'd already bought it. And also, even though this is a low ram intake, it still sits pretty high. So I just want to make sure for sure that I am clearance between the hood. And then also, I don't want this motor sitting below, or at least not too far below, that cross member there. Because this car is on jack stands right now, so it's sitting higher than it will on the road. Just if I go over any speed bumps or anything, I don't want to take a chance of busting the oil pan and not realizing it. Also, here's the Gen 4 LS filter on it. I don't know if they're any better or worse, whatever, probably the same thing. But that's how she sits. Now I'm gonna get it back off the stand. Transmission, flywheel, clutch, all that stuff, put back on. Slap the motor mounts on the side about where I think they'll be. And then after that, it's ready to go in the car, really. I don't have much else I can do while it's outside of the car. Also, if anybody's got alternator, power steering pump that you wanna give to your boy, let me know. And if anybody wants to buy MSD box, got the wiring harness, got crank, cam, coil wires, and then all the tuning stuff for the MSD. There's everything if you want to carburate an LS to do it. The exception of a fuel make it happener. Like I said, I'm gonna get this thing, get the tractor back out, get it off the stand, and bolt everything that I'd previously bolted on back onto it. Since I had to unbolt everything, I'll actually do an install this time of putting a clutch flywheel or clutch pressure plate and bell housing on. Flywheel's already on and torqued down. It's pretty self-explanatory. Pilot bearings in. It does bearing things. So for this, I'm gonna take clutch. You got a clutch alignment tool, so when you put the transmission on, and yes, you need one of these. It doesn't work if you don't. I've tried multiple times. You slide this into the pilot bearing, if you can find the hole, just like that, and then you can just leave that in there. You'll take this. This is your pressure plate. When you push your clutch in, see, the flywheel makes contact with your clutch, and then your clutch makes contact with your pressure plate. When you push your clutch in, these forks compress, and it'll pull this piece off the clutch, which that's where you get your neutral feeling at whenever you push your clutch in. But on this Speedway Motors kit, you got 6 ARP bolts all the way around. They torque to 35 foot-pounds. And since my GoPro has weird lighting whenever I'm in here and flashes and stuff, I'm gonna do it without the camera, but 6 bolts, 35 foot-pounds, go in a star pattern. And then for your bell housing, you just have a bolt every one of these holes on the outside, And then your transmission will slide right in there. 4 bolts bolted on. Nothing too complex. All right, guys, it is on now. These are ARP studs. There is the assembly lube on them, as you can tell on my fingers. So I got my torque wrench. We're gonna go up to, I'll do 25 foot-pounds first. I can't find an exact spec on it. Somewhere 25 to 35. They're ARP studs, so I'm not worried about them breaking or snapping off. So I'm gonna go 25 all the way around and then come back, bump it up to 35 and go all the way around one more time. Guys, hopefully y'all can hear me over that background noise. My microphone died. We got filter, oil pan, and yes, filter on too. Transmission back bolted up. Shifting through them all good. Got clutch lines routed now for our throwout bearing. And it is still pushed. Still got a little bit ways to go back once I engage it for the first time, but we have good clearance. If I can get this thing to rotate. Good clearance between it and our pressure plate's about 15 hundredths or so, which is what spec calls for. So I think I'm in this video out here, and the next video will just all be getting the motor in the car and getting motor mounts welded up, transmission mount welded up. All that is left before this thing can go in the car is for me to take 5 minutes, put 8 bolts on, and get motor mounts stuck on the side of this bar. Other than that, thank y'all so much for watching. I appreciate it, and we will see you on the next one.